Top, pay for us. Every city has no clear top. But anyway,
Clear
so
top, maybe.
you have a clear top. Yes. You have a manila top.
Yes.
Okay. I better stop while I'm at it, Dave. Give it up for Dave Snook.
Oh, really? That light's too much? Yeah. Yeah, just in case you get nervous. Lean on it. It's really odd, but my first bit was actually about chairs, and so now I got to go to my second bit. Hope you're having a good time tonight. Like Steve said, a bunch of my family's here, which means we're now in violation of fire codes. Yeah, you have to know my family getting that. 11 kids, that's why it was funny. But tonight I'm going to talk about how many people growing up went to a little thing called Vacation Bible School. Yeah, great times, weren't they? I remember the first time we went to Vacation Bible School. We never really went to any church, at least not religiously. And one day this car pulls up. This guy gets out and is talking to my mom about if we want to go to Vacation Bible School. And she didn't know what it was, so he explains that for 2 hours, her kids will be cared for and fed and be away from the house. And she could have stopped at 2 hours because, that had my mom. And so we went to our first Vacation Bible School, and for 2 hours my mom got to have some of her sandy back. And then she found out that other churches have VBS during the day. So, we would go to the Methodist during the day and the Southern Baptist at night. And soon we were doing the whole VBS circuit. Found out that, churches in Indiana. The really weird part is I was getting all of this weird theology because I'm going to so many different churches. And so at one point I was saying Our Fathers in tongues while handling snakes and believing both in free will of man and eternal security. I promise that will be the last theology joke I ever do. I knew Steve would get a laugh out on that.
Still believes most of that.
Yes. But one of the great things about Bible is that coming off of this. Where does that echo coming from?
It's coming from
Tony Farr.
Tony Farr.
Tony Farr.
You want the echo removed?
Yeah, I don't really know.
He doesn't like echo.
I don't think the sound effects are really a big part of this. Okay, anyway. So, one of the great things about VBS was when you make the little crafts. And it seemed like somebody must have had stock in macaroni company because everything we did was made out of macaroni. In the summer of '74, I went through more macaroni than Olive Garden. Everything we made was macaroni. We made macaroni Bible case, macaroni necklace, macaroni pot holders, macaroni shoestrings. I came up with a good joke about macaroni underwear, but I had to remember this is church, so ask me later and I'll tell you the punchline. Another great thing about VBS are all those classic songs you learn as a kid, which, we don't, well, I was going to say we don't sing them anymore, but actually we do. One of them is Father Abraham, and if you're not familiar with Father Abraham is like the Jesus-y version of Hokey Pokey. And really, let's be honest, Father Abraham, that's just a lawsuit waiting to happen. You take a bunch of kids and you put them in a condensed area, and then slowly you build up the momentum, and the object at the end is you're swinging your arms, you're swinging your legs. Little Tony's over here bowled over because he got kicked in the crotch, and little Jimmy's over here spitting out teeth, and little Susie's looking for the eye that got poked out. Really, honestly, why not just give them a 6-pack of Mountain Dew and a loaded gun? Father Abraham, straight leg! I actually had somebody defend Father Abraham to me one time, and she said it helps them to release all of this pent-up energy. Well, so does exploding an atomic bomb, but I don't want to be around that either. Another song I remember growing up was this song called Countdown. And the song starts out where you're just counting down from 10 like you're going to launch this rocket. So I think, rockets, as a little boy. Actually, I still do that. And then we start and we're like 10, 9, 8, 7. And when I got to 6, I realized what they were doing. They were making me do math. And I'm looking around going, stop it, you fool! They're making you count! This is summer! Don't count, there's no counting in summer! And so she got down to 2, and I'm waving my arm, and she sees me, and she stops to count down. And she asked me what the problem is. And I said, I was specifically told there would be no math this summer. Yeah, and right now if you're thinking, I can't believe this guy thinks that counting is math. That's because you've never been in math class with me. To me, counting is a little something I like to call algebra. So, you do the countdown, and really, that song really has kind of a creepy message. I mean, here are these little kids, and we're telling them, really what we're telling them is that, the Jesus bandwagon is leaving, and you better hurry up and hop on, because once that train leaves town, it ain't coming back. So, good night. Sit tight. I'll see you tomorrow. And the third song that I always loved was, it's called, oh man, I can't believe I just forgot. Got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. And the one verse I want to focus on is, I'm sure was added later on somewhere down. It's the one that says, and if the devil doesn't like it, he can sit on a towel. No, I mean, come on. I'm pretty sure attack is not going to really hurt the devil. I mean, look what we've done to try to kill this guy in Hollywood. We've shot him, we've nuked him, we've put him in a car and driven him off a cliff. We had a guy who played Jesus a few years earlier play a priest who's trying to get a girl to stop her head spinning. We've even sent Schwarzenegger after him. Okay, I don't think attack is going to hurt. In fact, just between you and me, secretly, I think he's kind of into that anyway. I think the devil's a little bit emo, and he kind of, whenever he's looking, puts a tactics in his chair and sits on it, just so he can feel alive. And honestly, if you really boil down that verse, what that verse is about, it's about vengeance. It's about childhood vengeance. And as kids, especially when you have a big family like I had, you can't exact vengeance on your siblings. You're not allowed to slap your brother because he took the last piece of cake. Or you're not allowed to pull your little sister's hair just because she watched the Smurfs every Saturday and
No, I didn't. You watched Star Trek, but
okay.
I would watch Smurfs for 5 minutes. That'd be Star Trek.
And Chris is
That's Dave's first heckler.
It's my first heckler.
What was your
Anyway.
last?
Yeah, well, but not only do parents in the church encourage vengeance against Satan? I mean, we love it, we sing it. And really, what do we want vengeance for? We want vengeance because, we go up to Satan and we go like, here, Satan, here's an attack. This is for you making me do all those things last week that secretly I hope to get to do again this Saturday. Or, here, Satan, here's an attack. This is for all those starving kids in China, and because of that, I gotta eat my vegetables. And secretly, honestly, the person I want to get vengeance on was the old lady who made me count during my summer vacation. Okay, I had a second bit, but because that went a little bit longer than I thought it was going to.
Just keep going.
No.
More.
Keep going. Actually, this is the second bit.
Work with me here.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is just condense my second bit into all the punchlines and save out all the boring stuff. And so it was gonna be about me going up and being a pirate up on Indian Lake because I realized how much those pirates around Somalia make. When so I don't want to go over there. That's way too far. So I thought I'd go up to Indian Lake, and I took my paintball gun and I rented a jet ski, and it was going to be about me going around to those the pontoon boats.
Yes.
And I was going to tell you a joke about how the first pontoon boat I jumped on, and I pulled out my pirate flag. And the guy didn't have any money because if he had money he would go up to Lake Erie, not Indian Lake. But so I took his 12-pack of Old Milwaukee and I hopped back on the jet ski and I drank one and I chased him down and I made him take it back. And then I was going to tell about how I finally got hungry and I went to get breakfast at McDonald's, so I drove my jet ski up there and it was 10:31, so they quit selling breakfast.
Oh, no.
And so for the first time as a pirate, I went, "Arrgh!" Then I was going to tell the part about how the lake police were on to me, and how, just like OJ, I had this slow speed chase through the no-wake zone. And then I was going to tell how I got away, because the only identification they had was from behind, and so the only identification they had was a fat, white, bald guy with a hairy back, and at Indian Lake I just blended in. I just walked right through the crowds. I didn't know where I was. And then finally, I was going to tell about the only bad experience from that whole piracy thing was, pirates are supposed to have really cool tattoos, but I had this horrible fear of needles. So what I did was I took 75 cents and I went to the bubblegum machine, and I got one of those little temporary tattoos. And you don't get to choose what comes out of those. So that's why around Indian Lake I was known as the Dread Pirate Hannah Montana. Thank you.
Did you draw that?
No, Sarah did that.
Sarah drew
that. Artwork by Sarah Snook.
Yes. Let's hear it again for Dave. I would like to hear the entire bit. Although I think, was that kind of the bit?
Yeah, it was a bit.
Okay.
But it started off bigger.
It was the reverse bit. He was trying to make you think that he wasn't really going to tell the story, but then he just told it anyway.
Yeah.
He fooled all of you.
Despite your
Very
best
clever.
efforts.